One of the biggest goals in Rocket League is to make it to Grand Champion. Now, I've had the privilege of being in GC for many seasons now, but every now and again I'll have several bad days in a row that will knock me back down to Champ 3, and I'll have to climb back up. And this recently has just happened. So I've been able to experience the climb from C3 up to GC1 once again. And in today's video, we'll be showcasing the final two games between C3 and GC1, so we can showcase the gameplay required to reach this goal. For this first game, we were sitting at 1419 MMR, which is 16 MMR away from the GC1 threshold of 1435. So 2 games away at this point, so let's go ahead, take a look here, and see what kind of gameplay quality we have working for us. Solid kickoff here, gonna go ahead and pop that ball right on up. Recognize that there's not much we can do by rushing back, so go ahead and collect some boost. Go forward for this challenge here, take it around that first defender. Demo our other defender off the field, and now recognize the ball's coming back towards us, so let's rotate back a little bit. Pop up, let's go for some control here, see what we can do. Pop the ball up to the backboard, not really much there. Come back to the ground, recover fairly nicely, and pick up pads on our way back down the field. So a lot of what we're going to be looking for here is just generally playing quite solid. In reality, to get to GC1, you don't need to be able to do anything super flashy, you just need to be able to have extremely solid fundamentals and play quite smart. So that's what we're going to be looking to do here, as we're just calmly rotating around. Recognize this is a bit of an awkward ball, teammate sitting awkwardly in the midfield. We'll let him go ahead and go. Don't want to put ourselves in the same position as our teammates, as that is one of the fastest ways to get scored on. Little bit of an over-ambitious jump there. Luckily, our teammate does have us covered, and we can apply pressure to our opponent there to make sure they don't have a free ball. Stick in a challenge here, again, apply the pressure. Can't really turn as this ball comes towards us, but we can position to put some pressure there on the ball to try to block out any possible shooting angles. Pass coming through from our teammate, gonna miss that ball unfortunately, but again, we're just calmly rotating back, we're not panicking in any situation, we're just putting ourselves in spots where we can be successful and have quality impact on the play. Recognize there's not much we can do here, so just calmly rotating around. Bit of bad positioning from us there. Luckily, our opponent does not take advantage of it, and we're able to control the ball downfield. Force the challenge here, maybe pass it into the midfield for our teammate. Unfortunately, they are not there for us, but now we're just going to take some time to rotate some pads. Don't need to throw ourselves into the play or massively out of it to go get boost. We'll just calmly work our way around here as the ball comes out from our opponents. Unfortunately, we do miss that mid boost, but now it does look like we should be having a free ball. Was unsure what our teammate was going to be doing there. Could have taken control, but the ball bouncing off the corner does put our opponents in a bit of a bad spot, and we're able to capitalize on that bounce with a good shot to the back post. So again, nothing fancy there, just hitting the ball off the corner, taking advantage of our opponents being in a bit of a bad spot, and taking the lead there on that goal. And now our teammate's going to work his way downfield. Again, we're just sitting comfortably in the midfield, waiting to see how we can be supportive, waiting to see where we might need to be, and instead of us needing to be anywhere, our teammate does a fantastic job to put that ball into the net. Recognize the space here, going to take the ball around one opponent, trying to work out an angle here that we might be able to continue to attack the ball. Not going to rush away here, just going to take some pads as we wait to see how the play develops. Now the ball is getting popped downfield, so we'll go ahead and go back and take that full boost. See what our opponent does here. Teammate's still sitting in the midfield, so don't want to dive in and throw ourselves out of position when he's already in that area. Go ahead and get a solid challenge here and then rotate around. Teammate coming forward, he's messing with the opponents a bit, so we're just going to maintain a solid distance between ourselves and the play. Recognize that our teammate's going to need that boost, so we'll go ahead and leave it for him. And again, teammate's more or less in this play, so we don't want to interject ourselves into it, or inject ourselves into it rather, just because we don't want to make things awkward for both ourselves and our teammate. If our teammate's in a play, even if he's in a bit of an awkward spot, throwing ourselves into that play normally only serves to make things more awkward. Again, right there, recognize that our teammate can come across, and we'll go ahead and let him. And now we recognize, okay, let's have some space here, let's see what we can do. trying to shoot the ball over the top of the defender there. Didn't quite work out, but our teammate is on the ball, so we can go ahead and calmly rotate back. A little bit far away from the play here for my personal liking, but now we can turn back, get ready for the attack coming through. Unfortunately, we do have to get out of the way of that bump, and we're just not able to do so and get contact on the ball at the same time. Decent attack from our opponents there to be able to get that ball past us. Not utilizing any kind of space here, not our best idea. Gonna just give away the ball to our opponents. Gonna have to rotate around, see how this develops. Loose ball into the corner. Gonna go ahead and tap that around. Maybe teammates here for it, not quite. Control this ball back to our own corner. Don't want to be giving up any free possession to our opponents if we can help it. Around one we go, have a bit of space here to work. Again, just relatively tapping the ball away, not really doing anything with it except giving control of it back to our opponents. Again, find ourselves in a bit of a scary position here. That's a good flick. Probably too much space given to the opponents there, but when they do have full control of the ball, there's not much that you can really do other than hope that you can guess where that flick is going and put yourself in a position to get it off the goal line. So, from a 2-goal lead to a tie game with about 10 seconds to go here, looking like we're going to be heading towards an overtime, barring any miraculous finishes here. Waiting patiently to see where our opponent's going to go. Ball is rolling on the ground, we'll just let it go, and into overtime we go. So, a couple of awkward situations there towards the end of the game that's going to cause us to lose our 2-goal lead. But let's see if we can continue to apply successful pressure to our opponents so that we can come out on top here. Decent flick, opponent is going to have the touch. Thought about maybe looking for the corner boost if it was going to spawn, but saw that it wasn't there, and dipped out of there to give ourselves a better angle to play with. Tap this ball off the backboard, now look for a bump maybe. Not going to be able to get contact there on the opponent, but we now are going to be back in a position where we can support our teammate as he moves forward. Up the field we go, pinch out from the opponent's gonna try to play this at a good angle so we can get around it. Good demo from my teammate. Unfortunately, we can't generate enough power on the shot to push that ball far enough into the opponent's half to cause it to be threatening. But now our teammate is dancing around the opponent's ball into the midfield, and our patient positioning in the midfield is going to net us the win in that game. So that really came down to just smartly positioning ourselves around our teammate. We didn't ever want to throw ourselves into a spot that our teammate was already in. We wanted to give them enough space to work with, and then give ourselves enough space to work with when the ball fell to us. Like I said towards the beginning of this game, playing at this level is all about really sound fundamentals. Yes, you can get here from being able to out-mechanic your opponents, but at the time that you get to this rank, mechanics are simply not going to be enough to win you games. If you don't have the solid base that you've built those mechanics on top of, you are simply going to come crumbling down in these lobbies. So this put us within one game of getting back up to GC1, so let's take a look at our next game and see how we made that final push. So in that last game, we gained 9 MMR, which put us just one game away from reaching GC1. So let's see if we can play smart enough in this next game to allow us to get over that final hurdle. Decent kickoff from our teammate here, gonna take the boost and wait to see where this clear goes. We're gonna go ahead and challenge this ball, recognize that we could have another touch here. Unfortunately, we just can't quite reach out to it. Get a demo on our opponents as we're heading back. Ball rolling up the wall, just gonna be close enough to it that our opponents know we're there, so they don't have a free ball. Teammate working into the corner, again, we're gonna give him space to do his thing. Go ahead and sneak out, grab a couple pads here as the ball is just harmlessly floating around in the corner of the field. Go ahead and get a challenge here, gonna win that ball out. Teammate possibly in a shooting spot. Unfortunately, that ball is gonna roll just past us and just off target where we can go ahead and get the clear. Love the calmness we showed there as the ball was rolling towards our net. Not to panic and accidentally own goal it, but instead just play smartly and make sure that we got the touch we needed to. Little bit of a loose touch there, gonna just give away possession to our opponents, which isn't what we want. But again, we're gonna play very calmly here on the back line. With our low boost, we don't have much that we can do, so we're just gonna put ourselves in the best position possible by playing patiently. Diving out of the play here with our 0 boost, gonna allow our teammate to come forward now, and now we have possession once again. Teammate over the top, gonna put our opponent in an awkward spot. Recognize the space over to the side here. Let's go ahead and take control. Unfortunately, we do get blocked by our opponent, and that is going to lead to a transition for them. Rotate back now. Recognize that our teammate has the clear, don't need to use boost here as the ball comes forward. But now we have an opportunity for possession. Unfortunately, again, we just tap it up to the backboard. But once again, we are going to catch our opponents in an awkward spot because of that high touch. And we're going to capitalize on a mistake from them, which will give us the first goal of the game once again. So definitely a better play we could have made there was definitely trying to control the ball. But with what we decided to do, just banging the ball up to a spot where the defenders weren't, that allowed us to go ahead and get a goal because it forced out a mistake, which you do indeed love to see. Rotating wide around here, gonna allow my teammate space to work with this ball. Recognize that we should have time here to go ahead and catch this ball. And now try to go around the first defender to allow our teammate into the play. Doesn't quite work out, but we do get up and get the save. Unfortunately, it does bounce right back out to our opponent, and they are able to finish it off. Definitely would have looked for a clear there to the corner if we had really thought about it. Unfortunately, we were just trying to get our car in front of that shot. We managed to get the first save, but our opponent, our teammate rather, was left in a very bad spot that he really couldn't deal with, and the shot came through, and that is now a tie game. Teammate has a nice clear down the field here, going to be bouncing into the corner. Thought teammate might be going for it, so pulled off, but he turns off as well. Gonna look for control here, pop the ball into the air, and control through the air we go. Looking to end this in a 50-50, which we do. Teammate almost has a shooting opportunity there, and again, we're just going to give ourselves a nice wide angle to play with as that ball bounces off the wall. Force the first player, teammate coming through for the shots, teammate going to get the goal, and that was all about playing the midfield with a nice angle, getting the touch into an awkward spot for the opponents, not diving at it, but just letting them know that we're there, so we force out a poor touch, and allowing our teammate to capitalize on that opportunity. Teammate now into the corner. Gonna just rotate some pads here, don't need to dive into anything, teammate is doing work. Little bit of a late jump here is gonna mean that we're gonna get beat out to this ball. Teammate should be in a fine spot though to deal with this. We're rushing back as fast as we can, so we can be here to support him. Again, space with this ball for control, not a great first touch, but we are going to force out a 50-50 here. Bit of a greedy boost grab all the way in our opponent's corner, but looks like we are going to get back in time to be able to support our teammate here, so it's all good. Not going to waste boost as we slowly drive up the field. Good clear opportunity here, going to be able to pop that ball downfield. Saw the ball come, was most likely going to be coming up to the backboard, so use that information to position ourselves accordingly to get a good clear. Again, utilizing the space we have, taking good angles on the ball, allowing us to work our way downfield. Another solid challenge, pass out to our teammate. Unfortunately, just can't quite get up to it in time. And now we're in a bad spot. We're going to get demoed because we're not aware of what our opponents are doing. And that's going to result in a tie game. Need a little bit better awareness there to recognize, hey, there's an opponent in front of this play. Highly likely that they go for the demo here. Didn't quite get on top of that in time. But hey, off the ensuing kickoff, we realize we don't want to jump on that ball because our teammate is probably approaching it. We're going to let him go for it, and it works out fantastically to give us that 1-goal lead right back. Looking to defend it now for the final 45 seconds. Ball coming across, teammate has the great save. Gonna work our way forward here, wait to see what the opponent does. Ball over to our teammate, possible pass into the midfield, but don't want to overcommit. Play it around the opponent, back to our teammate there. Again, more patience in the midfield. Don't want to dive in for anything. That time we are taking a look at where our opponent is coming from, so we can avoid the demo. Air dribble coming through, we do go ahead and get the block. Let's eye up where our other opponent is so we can try to force this ball around. Not great control from us, but it does look like our opponent has had a bit of a struggle, and we can go ahead and get back just in time to take away any potential shot there. Floating behind, this one here is going to be just enough to keep the ball out of the net, cutting down enough of the angle there, and that then forces the ball to the ground and gives us this win. NGC won just like that. So as you guys saw through those two games, nothing really incredible happened. I didn't do anything flashy mechanically, didn't really score any amazing goals. It really was all about just playing fundamentally sound with proper spacing around the field to allow both myself and my teammate space to operate and space to be successful. In addition to that, it was all about playing the ball smartly with the angles we gave ourselves. When you try to attack the ball with too tight of an angle, you often make playing the ball much more difficult than it needs to be. Whenever you have a ball coming towards you, the best idea is always to see where the opponents are, judge how long it's going to take them to get to the ball, and with the time you have, try to give yourself as good of an angle as possible so you can play the ball as effectively as you possibly can. So as you can see, high-level fundamentals really is the blueprint to reaching GC. Sure, you can have all the flashy mechanics and things like that, and that can get you there, but at the end of the day, if you give yourself a solid foundation of the fundamentals, then you can start to build those mechanics on top of it, and become a more dangerous player over time. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that made it all the way to this point in the video. If you did enjoy, please consider clicking that subscribe button right down below, so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community that we're building here, feel free to join my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.